What's up, boys? We're back. Episode 8. We're making some strides here in this business.
Yeah.
Consistently uploading. So we're going to implement a new kind of like dynamic or category of the podcast. We're going to call it like every start to a podcast the headlines. So this is kind of like stuff that's not really related to what we're going to be talking about, but it's kind of noteworthy. So just to go over a few things. Bobby Wagner got extended today.
He did.
He got
3 year, $54 million.
40 guaranteed.
Yep.
So obviously, Wagner's the best linebacker in the league, in my opinion. He didn't really like set a new bar for the linebacker contracts because he got less guaranteed than Mosley got with the Jets.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still a well-deserved contract to say the least.
For sure.
We know Zeke's holding out. He didn't go. I think they're going to like Oxnard for their training camp.
So he wasn't on the plane, and then he didn't show up today.
When he missed the flight, people thought that they were going to meet him there, but they didn't. So he's holding out. And they're not close on a contract. Update on Melvin Gordon. Now people are saying that he's going to start like missing games. That's kind of like the rumor that he's going to actually.
That's pretty worrying.
Yeah, he's going to actually go into the season and miss games. And then Michael Thomas is holding out. Kind of surprising, but I don't think he'll hold out for long. I think it'll just.
Yeah, I think he gets a deal pretty quick.
Yeah, he'll get a deal pretty quick. But yeah.
Same with Ngakoue. I think Ngakoue gets a deal before August 5th, but
I think you're just throwing stuff at a wall, bro.
Yeah, I think that's just me hoping he does.
All right, so yeah, so basically, as an overview, the headlines, just shit that's newsworthy. So we're going to go back into our fantasy football mock draft. We go on round by round. For those who didn't listen to the last podcast, we did the first round there. Just to recap, we're just going to recap the last two picks. We're not going through everyone. So, Who'd you pick at 10? No, fuck me. All right, so I picked Tyreek Hill at 11, and who'd you pick at 12?
Michael Thomas.
Okay, so we're going in. So Kieran's at 13. Wait, quick question. Are you having like second thoughts with Michael Thomas? That selection? With this whole contract?
Well, not really. I'm actually not too worried about.
Yeah, I wouldn't have second. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, especially at 12.
All right, so you're at 13.
Going back in. Rattle Snake. I got the first pick. So right here, I'm just looking at players that were selected. James Conner's there.
James Conner is.
You took Julio, right?
Or wait. I did. Yeah, I took Julio at 7.
Yeah, you took Julio. Okay. Mixon's here.
Yeah.
You took OBJ, right?
I did take Odell.
All right, cool. So I'm basically deciding between James Conner and Mixon.
Okay.
Okay.
No Nick Chubb, just out of curiosity.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet on Nick Chubb.
Okay.
Later, probably.
Just a question, though.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, James Conner's got the advantage of probably a better offense as a whole. Definitely a better O-line in terms of run blocking.
Okay.
Volume, though, probably Mixon's got the edge.
Yeah, I mean, the offense is going to run through Mixon.
Yeah, so that's promising. I think Mixon's better.
Okay.
Just, like, off of talent, the better player.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Mixon.
Okay.
I like Mixon this year. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think he's primed for like a better year than he had last year. Offenses run through him. Competent offensive coaches. So, all right, so Mixon's off the board. So I'm here at 14. So for this team, we're going so I picked Tyreek Hill in the first round. So I'm kind of looking at running backs right now. So Damian Williams isn't even close to on my board because I don't want to double up on Chiefs. So that means that Travis Kelce isn't there. Melvin Gordon would be the pick if that news didn't come out today about the whole might miss games, but I feel like it's good value for him, but now it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of throwing me for a loop here.
Yeah, I would not pick him. Honestly, I'm not going to pick him this round.
I'll pick him in the third if he's there.
Yeah, same.
And then you picked Mixon, I would have picked him if he wasn't there. So I'm kind of down to James Conner, who I think is 2 touchdown dependent still. I would kind of take him on the latter half of the second. He's not going to go there, though. So, looking at my board, there's guys like Dalvin Cook. I don't really like Dalvin Cook this year. I don't know. I'm not really.
I don't like him either. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Juju.
I thought you might do that.
I'm gonna double up on receivers. So we got Tyreek Hill, we got Juju. So we're gonna be looking to get some guys like Aaron Jones. Maybe Gurley falls to this team in the third. So we'll see how that goes. So we got double receiver with Hill and Juju. I mean, dude, I would take that in a money league. Are you serious?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
All right, so you're at 15. Okay.
Yeah. So here, basically, I mean, I'm probably just gonna go James Conner. That's the other guy.
Who'd you pick at 10?
At 10, I picked Devontae Adams. So,
okay, so
this works out well.
Connor. That makes sense.
And with 12, I went Michael Thomas. So I got Joe Mixon, Michael Thomas. That's a killer.
I wouldn't call it killer.
Dude, that's pretty killer. Not gonna lie. Right, and here we got Devontae Adams, James Conner. Yeah, I think 2 players I can rely on, and they can be like what you would expect out of first and second round pick.
All right. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. All right, so I'm sitting here. I'm at 16. So with this team, I picked Odell at 9 in the first round. So just by default, Nick Chubb's off the board. I hate doubling up on the same offense, especially this early.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, I mean, if I want to go running back, I would target Dalvin Cook or Damian Williams. But this is like a tough pick here because you got Travis Kelce on the board.
Are you considering Gurley at all?
No. Not this
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
It's the injuries that is.
Yeah, I really can't trust it.
Fuck. Oh, jeez. This is a tough pick here. Who do I like more, Dalvin Cook or tight end? I think I'm gonna go Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Dalvin Cook. Even though Dalvin Cook,
are you happy with that pick?
I mean, it's just kind of like I'm thinking. All right, so I have like a long list of players here. So I'm kind of looking down when like this team will be picking next, right? And I'm seeing like Gurley, I'm seeing Freeman, I'm seeing Aaron Jones, like those type of running backs, Josh Jacobs, like those type of guys. And I'm just not really comfortable with them being my running back 1. So I feel like if like Juju fell here, I would have taken Juju. But I feel like Dalvin Cook has a chance to be a running back 1. Minnesota's going to go run heavy this year, I'm pretty sure. The offense should run through them. So I think that's a good upside pick, but this is kind of like the point in the second round where you're really just kind of, I don't know.
I don't love this range in the draft, you know?
Yeah, like this is the type of range where I'm like definitely like going to start reaching on players. Maybe make some like handshake deals in the draft where you start drafting players for other players.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I mean, because I don't like drafting tight ends this high. You can get a guy like Jared Cook in the Saints offense or Evan Ingram who's going to get a boatload of targets this year, like lower. And I don't like him as much as Kelce, but I feel like the production won't be as different than like Dalvin Cook and Josh Jacobs. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So you're at 17. So who'd you pick for this team? Who'd you pick at 8?
I believe I picked Bell. I picked Bell.
Okay, so you picked Lev Bell. Okay.
And so looking at the players available, I say the next receiver I would take would be probably Antonio Brown, to be honest.
It's either him or Amari Cooper for me.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go.
I love Amari Cooper this year.
You love Amari Cooper?
Yeah, because he's playing for a contract.
Sure.
I think that plays into it.
All right. But, I think I'm just going to go Nick Chubb.
Okay, so
running
Chubb
back
comes off the board here. Okay.
And the Browns should be an explosive offense.
I just don't know about,
I'm okay with the pick.
When Kareem Hunt comes back and stuff like that. There's just a lot of quote-unquote red flags. You get what I'm saying?
True, but in terms of the player itself, Nick Chubb...
Oh, the player's good.
He's pretty good, yeah.
I just don't know.
With Kareem Hunt, he's got at least the first half of the year to, establish himself.
Hopefully.
And... I don't know. We'll see how much Kareem Hunt plays. He can still be super effective in a 2 running back system, as we saw, like teams like Atlanta with Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, I know, but like those were never running back 1s. That's kind of what kind of my concern for Nick Chubb. It's just kind of like, all right, Nick Chubb should be good the first 8 weeks, but it's just there's a lot of they got Odell.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, it's just fucked. It's like I like Odell there, but besides Odell, I don't want to touch anybody on that Browns offense.
Yeah,
because like Landry is like okay, he's got to get a lot of
targets,
or is
dude,
he?
I was doing a mock draft and someone reached so hard on Landry. I was like, wow.
I mean, I would take Landry over guys like Brandon Cooks. Don't get me wrong, but like
I wouldn't.
Really?
I would not do that.
All right, we'll have those conversations when we get to those decisions. So I'm at 18. So with this team, I picked Julio. This is actually a pretty easy decision. I'm gonna pick Damian Williams. So I feel like the Kansas City offense is an offense you want to be a part of, especially since this is a PPR draft. I feel like he's gonna get a lot of receptions there. And looking at the board, since you picked Chubb, Damian Williams is kind of like the last running back until you I call it like a tier break. Like the Marlon Macks of the world, Derrick Henry's, like stuff like that. Gurley was a thought here, But it's just like Damian Williams is a sure thing for me. And that Chiefs offense, I want every bit of that. God,
Okay.
man. I love that Chiefs offense. Yeah, so that's my pick. So I go Julio at 7, and then at 18 we pick Williams. So that's a good team.
All right. So team number 6 for me, I drafted Hopkins in the first round.
Okay.
So I kind of feel pressure to go running back here.
Ooh.
And
Who are you
normally,
thinking?
if there was the running back I have right now in my sights is Leonard.
Oh
Leonard
my
Fournette.
God.
I don't even think that's a reach. Like
Bro, he's
comfortable with
ranked
that.
44th.
Dude, that's on whatever site you're using. Just chill out. I didn't say I was gonna pick him.
God.
Just because I'm probably gonna go Antonio Brown, but he's in my minds, you know.
All right. So everyone knows you're a Jags fan at this point. So like, if you take your fandom out of it and it's like a money league, is Fournette seriously in your mind here?
I'm taking him early third in a money league.
Jesus Christ.
I'm completely okay with that decision.
That's tough, man.
I think he's going to have a big year. But, I'm not going to take him just yet, just for, the sake of the realism. I'm going to go Antonio Brown.
That's kind of high. Huh.
I don't know. Is it? I don't think so.
For me, it is.
He's still Antonio Brown.
That is.
It's not like Derek Carr's an incapable passer.
I think Gruden's is
He's gonna Yeah, maybe, but he's gonna get the volume.
Who else is getting those targets? No one.
Tyrell Williams.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah. I know he's good, but
I'm just saying. For me, it's like I'm at 20. I picked David Johnson here, so I'm gonna pick Travis Kelce. He's fallen too far here.
Okay.
I feel like Kelce. As I talked about with the Damian Williams pick, it's just kind of like that Chiefs offense is great. I don't think that Tyreek Hill changes Kelce's outlook for this season. He's probably the best tight end in the league. You're gonna get so many targets with Mahomes, so many red zone targets with Mahomes, and he's just kind of like a sure thing that you can count on Kelce, and you won't have to worry about tight end for the rest of the year unless he gets hurt or it's his bye week. So yeah, that's an easy pick for me. That's pretty easy. At 20, yeah, dude, give me that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a similar pick. Team 4. This was the team I drafted Zeke.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with George Kittle.
Quick question about Zeke. Would you
Yep.
change up that pick, knowing what you know now?
No, because I don't think it's worth passing him up on 4 if it was ever at 5 or later. I think it's worth the risk, to be honest.
See, for me, obviously there's not going to be drafting for the next 3 weeks. So I feel like the draft we're doing right now, like the boards we're using, they're just going to get, not necessarily flipped, but they're going to move around a bunch.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill's already rising near the first round, so I feel like it's just going to fluctuate a bunch. And honestly, if I'm at 4 and Zeke's out of the picture, let's say Zeke's holding out for the year, we know that for a fact.
Yeah.
I would probably take Le'Veon Bell.
Really? Not like a Hopkins?
I would probably take Bell. I'm really high on Bell this year, dude. I feel like that year off should have helped.
Yeah, I'm high on Bell too.
I feel like that year off should have helped him a lot. I'd rather have him than David Johnson just because I like Darnold and Gates more than Murray and Kingsbury.
Same.
Then, I would take Gordon over Bell if Gordon was playing, but right now that looks like it's kind of getting questioned. So I feel like that's a good pick.
I like the Le'Veon Bell pick too. I saw in camp yesterday he ran the conditioning test twice or whatever. So he's in shape.
I would hope.
he's there. So
yeah, I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't hate it.
And I feel like since the Jets are paying him $13 a year, the offense better run through him. So
yeah, he's gonna get the touches.
He could get 500 touches.
Oh yeah, you're using that from his quote. I see you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, dude. That's where I'm getting it from.
All right, so I'm at 22 here. So with this team, I picked McCaffrey at 3. Now, see, this is a point in the draft where I look at Melvin Gordon and I'm like, okay, are we really this low on him?
Right.
Because on my list, right, Zach Ertz would be a pick, but I feel like Ertz is more of a 3rd round pick than a 2nd. Because I feel like with Philly, Philly got more targets this year, and Zach Ertz broke the NFL record for the most targets in the league. So I feel like his targets are going to go down a little bit. Obviously, Zach Ertz is still going to be a really good player this year. It's just that tight end. I feel like I could find similar production in the later rounds. And like when I think that with my second round pick, that's not a good place to be at. Like rounds 1 through 3, you should be like ultra confident in those players.
Yeah. Agreed.
So players I'm looking at here, I'm looking at Melvin Gordon, Amari Cooper, and Gurley. Those are the 3, really.
Wow.
The guys on my list, like Marlon Mack, I don't know. I'd rather take a chance on Gordon or Gurley than Mack. And then Evans and T.Y. Hilton, I like Cooper more. And then Keenan Allen and A.J. Green, while I feel like those 2 players are better when they're on the field, it's kind of like, all right, are they going to stay on the field this year?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Okay, I'm not going to... All right, I'm between Gordon and Gurley. I'm not taking Cooper here. Ooh, but should I? What would you do here? Would you go if you're choosing one of the 3, Gordon, Gurley, or Cooper?
Oh, I'm taking Cooper.
That's what I'm leaning towards.
I'm not taking a risk on a guy who I don't know if he's going to play in round 2. I'm just not doing that.
What about Gurley?
Yeah, not doing that.
I mean, he's gonna play. It's just we don't know how much he's gonna play.
Exactly. So I take him round 3, but round 2 I know these guys are going to produce at the level I expect them to. This is a sure thing, or at least as sure a thing that is available.
As close to a sure thing.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's a sure thing, but it's as close to a sure thing that's available. So I get this production round 2, and then I can kind of take some, because I can kind of, if things go bad in round 3, let's say Gurley's not as good, I could maybe replace with someone on like the waiver wire or like a later round pick. But you really can't. You got to get those first 2.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
go Cooper. I was.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like with Amari this year, as I said, he's playing for a contract. Like you guys might not think about that as a big deal, but for me it is because I feel like money changes players. I don't know. Do you believe that? I mean, it changes.
I agree with that.
So I feel like with Cooper, the fact that
he was super productive.
The Cowboys won 7-2.
Dallas, yeah. Especially that one game. Was it Thanksgiving or something?
Yeah, they played Philly.
Went off, yeah.
Yeah, they played Philly, and he just went crazy. So I feel like Cooper's a good pick. He's actually ranked in like the mid-3rd, if you didn't know. I feel like his
the list I'm looking at has him ranked
29th for Yahoo.
31.
Yeah, so around the same. All right, so you're at 23. You picked Kamara at 2. What are you thinking there?
So I'm looking at the board. I told you earlier I'm not taking Gurley, and I mean not Gordon either. I mean,
this might be a reach unless you take Ertz, but I don't know if you.
It's tough. It's tough here. I don't really want to take Ertz. I think the only tight ends I take round 2 are Kittle and Kelsey, and I think Ertz is more of a 3rd round target, mid to late 3rd, personally. So I'm looking at, and I don't even like this pick. I already don't like it. Mike Evans is here.
So I feel like with Mike Evans, I feel like he doesn't really have like the name value. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's like it's not Odell. It's Mike Evans, but I don't know. I mean, if Jameis can, fuck that. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's tough. Yeah.
Did you think about AJ? Out of curiosity.
AJ Green? No, I'm not. A little bit. Third round.
Okay.
But
Okay. See, I would take Green over Evans personally.
Okay. I took Evans first round like 2 years ago, and it burned me.
Yeah.
And I just don't know.
Well, so just to kind of touch on this, I feel like all of the receivers off the board, I'm not going to go through them, but all the receivers that have been off the board, there's kind of a tier break from those guys to now. I feel like the Mike Evans, T.Y. Hilton, A.J. Green, Keenan Allen, Thielen, Diggs are all in the same tier. Yeah. So for me, I'm looking at upside, and this is the first time that Green's an offensive change with the Bengals. So if Taylor, because they're going to run a bunch of play action, and that's, A.J. Green's a really good receiver in the slot. I don't know. I feel like I feel like if he can stay healthy, he's going to have a really good year.
Okay.
I would take Green over Evans. Yeah.
All right. Would you take Green here?
At 24? All right. So here's what I'm thinking. So obviously I go 24-25. I'm not going to give you the 20. Basically, I'm going to take Green in one of these picks. And all right, so I'm going to take Green now, and then kind of see if any news comes out on Gordon or Gurley for that matter, because I'm going to take one of those guys on the turn.
All right.
Because I took Saquon number 1. I mean, it's Saquon. Enough said. AJ here at 24. AJ is actually mid-3rd. I feel like his value is going to go up a little bit, but I feel like the offense that Taylor is going to implement is going to be a lot better than anything Lewis had. They're going to take a lot more deep shots from what I've been hearing in training camp. So I feel like it's a good upside pick rather than guys like Thielen and Diggs where they're kind of, I don't know. I just don't really like that. And then T.Y. Hilton, while it's a good pick, it's just kind of like I would rather have Green because the Colts spread the ball a lot more than the Bengals do in past years.
Wait, so you're taking Green as the final pick?
I'm taking Green at 24, and then the next time we record this at 25, I'm between Gordon and Gurley. I'm taking one of those two.
Okay.
I just kind of got to see if any news comes out. And see, after, like, the 30th pick, that you're really just reaching. All of them are just kind of reaches, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, so that kind of wraps up round 2. It's an interesting pick.
Indeed.
Melvin Gordon's now a third-round pick. He was a fucking top 5 pick a few weeks ago. Shit happens.
Yeah.
But we're going to segue into the entertainment section. We actually got some albums this year. Finally.
This week, yeah.
Just as a quick PSA, we haven't listened to the albums yet, like, in full. So, like, our kind of thoughts on them are kind of like, I would call it, like, the cliff notes. It's like we know what the album's going to be like, but we're not going to go track by track. We're not doing that.
I say I've listened to about 75% of the Chance album.
Yeah, but I've listened to every song, just not in the same sitting, so you don't get the same experience.
Yeah, same. Yeah. So
let's just give our opening.
Yeah, I'm gonna go tomorrow and listen to the entire thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if our thoughts change drastically, we'll mention them. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, true.
Also, I'll open the thoughts on Chance. So, I feel like Chance didn't like intentionally screw up on the timing, but for those that did know, I mean, it dropped at noon Central, which I mean, I feel like it's a good time to drop it. The big day, midday. I feel like it's a good time to drop it. But it kind of just like let people know in advance.
I know, yeah. It wasn't like a huge deal because I wasn't.
It's not that big of a deal.
It's not like I was staying up all night to listen to my new Chance album.
No, but some people did. Like that's the
thing.
Some
people did. That's the problem.
So if Chance just sent out a tweet, like the night before, like yo, just letting you guys know this thing's dropping, noon Central Time. Don't want you guys to stay up or whatever. It's cool. I mean, obviously, it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, though.
Yeah, and then his listening party in Chicago.
Yeah.
Weirdest listening party. He played one song off the new album.
From the album, yeah.
It was the second track.
Yeah.
So that was kind of confusing because it's a listening party, but it's basically like a coloring book concert.
Basically, yeah. But yeah, so I feel like
I don't know. It's fine, Chance, but onto the actual music.
Yeah. So
what were your initial thoughts?
So I feel like Chance he's kind of had a weird career arc. I call him a career arc. So he came out with 10 Day and Acid Rap. Those kind of had like the same sort of feel, and I feel like they were really well produced, especially back then. Coloring Book, it's more of the same, but I feel like I feel like it's not like I feel like the quality is not better, but since he had like more recognizable features on Coloring Book, he kind of made like a step up in the business. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Like on Acid Rap, there wasn't really like features that I know of that are really like notable, but on Coloring Book he had Kanye help him on All We Got, like stuff like that.
Yeah, and then, like everyone that was like popping at like Lil Yachty, 2 Chainz,
Lil everyone Wayne, that was popular back in 2016 he had, so I feel like that was a good sign. And then with this album, it's kind of weird. So obviously it's a different type of vibe. It's still Chance, but it's just kind of different.
It is.
It's so when I first listened to it, this is kind of a weird thought. It's kind of like if you grew up watching a YouTuber and he's still the same person, he's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people are like, I'm gonna use Joe Weller as an example because he got a bunch of hate for this. So a lot of people are like, oh, we want like the old Joe Weller back with the internet mode stuff like that, but he just changed, and people didn't really accept his change. I feel like that's what's happening with Chance. Everyone was like, oh, Acid Rap in 10 Days better. Maybe it's better quality, but I feel like Chance has just changed, which isn't a bad thing.
I feel like it's kind of like if you have like a photograph, and then the photograph got kind of like faded over time. I feel like the Big Day is kind of like a faded, I don't know, coloring book. Not even coloring book. I don't know. It's just one note is the production. I feel like was more boring.
The production could have been better.
I was not a huge fan of the production.
There were some songs that I felt were like. I mean, it's not like I hated every song. I'm not saying that, but there were some songs where I just really didn't get it. Like the Big Day, it was kind of like Chance kind of had like a repetitive thing, which actually worked. It wasn't like a lot to me, where it was just like, all right, 21's just in this monotone voice saying a lot. It's just kind of like, Jesus Christ.
Okay, right.
But, and then, like, mid-track, this fucking dude just pops up and he just starts yelling.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude,
happened.
like, what?
Yeah.
Same with Hot Shower. Hot Shower was dreadful. Like, God. So I feel like that's just kind of like what happens when you have 22 songs. That's way too many songs.
Yeah, that's a main problem with it. There was too much just filler in this album.
Yeah.
We did not need that many songs. I can't think of an album. Most albums, I'm not like...
Most albums have like
really
10
good albums, I'm not like,
songs.
oh man, I wish it was longer. Because like, I like how concise it was.
Gotcha.
Everything works.
Mm-hmm.
All the tracks belong there. There's some definite tracks like Get a Bag did not need to be there.
Slide or whatever, the one with Nicki Minaj. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so he had 2 Nicki Minaj features, not one Kanye feature.
Yeah, I feel like
really makes you wonder.
There's gonna be like not like necessarily a collab album, but like Kanye and Gambino haven't released their albums in a minute. So I feel like when those come out, Chance is gonna be a heavy role in that. That's just kind of like a prediction.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But overall, I feel like we're gonna have more like concise thoughts when we listen to it full. But for me, it's kind of like I got a few songs that I'm gonna listen to, past the release date, which is always good.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it again. I think I might find it to be a little bit better. I don't know. It's like I didn't find it to be like bad.
It wasn't awful, but it wasn't like,
bad, but it just wasn't. It wasn't
like that
as good.
It wasn't like album of the year. It wasn't.
I don't think it really lived up to the expectations I had, even though I didn't have huge expectations. But it still just wasn't great. It kind of sounds like a soundtrack to a movie. Yeah, that's not really what I want. I
was pretty optimistic just because I feel like Chance is such like a talented dude. I feel like he could have put it together.
He is, yeah.
And I don't think he did. I'm gonna have to listen.
Yeah,
to
and
it
he
again.
had 3 years, so I'm not really sure.
I'm gonna have to listen
what
to
happened
it again.
there.
I just feel like he changed, maybe not for the better, but it's kind of, I don't know. You just kind of change. That's all I mean. It's like if someone got traded to a different team and he plays different.
Okay.
All right, like maybe like when Carmelo got traded from the Nuggets to it's just kind of like not the same. That doesn't mean they're bad. Yeah. It's just different. So maybe like this album will age really well. Who knows? We can't predict that.
It could, but I don't know. I'd say the main issue is the length. To be honest,
and like the lack of like quality features. Really,
I thought. Yeah, true.
Like just there wasn't like a beach where I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is kind of like
where I'm like blown away. Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll probably touch on Chance's album the next podcast when we kind of listen to it in full, one sitting, that type of deal. The other album that came out last night was Cordaes. I think it's called Lost Boy.
It is, yeah.
So I've listened to bits and pieces, but the 3 songs I've like listened to are it's the Bad Idea with Chance, and then it's the Thanksgiving and the R&P with the Anderson .Paak. So I can speak on those specifically, but with I feel like Cordaes, I feel like it's gonna be a good album. But as my brother said, he's kind of like a watered down J. Cole. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay, so I listened to the full album in one sitting, so I kind of got the full experience. I get where you're coming from with that, but I don't know. He does sound like J. Cole.
I'm getting J. Cole vibes from him.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know if it's necessarily watered down. It's nowhere near like J. Cole's prime.
That's what I'm saying. It's like talking, right now it's watered down, but maybe
if we're talking current J. Cole, I think it's pretty on par with KOD, honestly.
Well, the KOD was terrible.
It's kind of probably a more relaxed vibe from Cordaes.
That's true.
I think there's a decent amount of singing in it, which I definitely liked. Production is on point for sure.
From what I've heard so far,
some pretty solid features.
He had better features than fucking Chance.
Yeah, Ty Dolla $ign fits in. I would have liked to see him in a Chance track. He can sing extremely well.
Anderson .Paak worked. They worked.
Anderson .Paak, they had a nice back and forth in the last verse. I thought that was pretty cool. Chance the Rapper, he was nice. He was nice in that song.
That verse was better than anything I've heard off his album, and I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding.
He managed to have some more, like hard tracks. You know what I mean? Like you had like Pusha T and Meek Mill.
I haven't heard those songs. So
even though those tracks weren't like super like intense or anything, he did a good job accommodating for Pusha T and Meek Mill because they wouldn't work on tracks like you're not gonna throw Pusha T on like Bad Idea or something.
Yeah,
that's just awful. A different vibe. Yeah, so no, it works. Meek Mill had a nice hook. Yeah, I thought
it was a good album, but I just don't. When I listened to it, I wasn't like. I don't know. Maybe I haven't got like the full experience, but I don't really find YBN Cordaes interesting.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he makes bad music.
Yeah.
But it's not like when you listen to like someone's music and you're like really intrigued. Like a storyteller type of musician. You know what I'm saying? At all?
Yeah, it's not like Cordaes blew J. Cole out the water. I mean, I'd give Cordaes' album maybe like a 6 to 7.
I feel like J. Cole had like a lot better ideas on KOD than anything I've heard on Cordaes.
Yeah, I mean Cordaes, this album kind of deals with this confusion.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying, like I feel like J. Cole, like maybe I haven't listened to it, but from
I don't know, J. Cole, like he touches on some deep subjects, but he just goes so. I feel like he kind of goes surface level in a lot of his tracks.
ATM wasn't surface level.
I know, but it's like
everyone missed that one. That was funny to me.
It's kind of I don't know. J. Cole's kind of fake deep at points.
At points, sure. I feel like if he gets, I feel like his next album will be a lot better though.
J. Cole's definitely better than YBN Cordaes.
Oh, it's not even cool.
YBN Cordaes is good.
He's
he's a good artist.
He's all right.
This was a really solid first album from a guy.
Yeah, that's true.
This is his first album. Really solid.
Yeah, no, it's a good first album. I just think
I'm pleased with it.
I just think I'm not like when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's gonna do in the next album. I'm like, okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited for his next album.
No, you get that. It's just like he's just not. He just kind of seems like not interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just kind of I don't really know.
I thought it was way more interesting than Chance's album.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Chance wasn't interesting at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of potential. I think he may go on to do some really good things.
It's hard to say.
If you look at like his, I don't know, if you look at like his XXL, you can just tell from his freestyles and
he's really
his cipher that he's above a lot of the other people there.
I mean, for the people there, it's not really saying much, but
I don't know. There's some good people there.
I know just for YBN Cordaes. Good first album.
Yeah.
There's like. Like when there's, like there's just something there, but you just can't really explain it. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of
okay. Yeah.
There's just something off. But hey,
sure. Yeah.
Prove me wrong, YBN. But yeah, Chance. Hopefully, in my second listen, it's album of the year. It fucking won't be. All right, we're gonna go into the miscellaneous topic. So this is kind of I don't know if we've touched on this, but we're gonna talk about kind of like the biggest mainstream conspiracy theories. So. Just a quick PSA here, like, we don't have any inside info. I wish we did.
Yeah, this is not like...
That'd be great.
That'd be cool. We could break some news.
I just feel like conspiracy theories are, like, a really cool conversation because it's, like, thought process is really out the window here. You're just kind of spitballing.
Okay.
It's just kind of like, there's no judging in conspiracy theories, I feel like. But who knows? Cool. Well, it depends on the one. Like, if you believe in, like, flat Earth, then I'll judge you, but... Alright, so I got a list of 5.
Alright, cool.
I would consider like the biggest ones, the ones with like the most information. Alright, so first one, we got the moon landing. So for those who don't know, I'm just gonna give a rundown. Basically, the U.S. landed on the moon in 1969. It was during what they called the space race. It was between I feel like U.S. and China, right?
Russia. Yeah.
So they were basically, it was like a competition to see who can get to the moon first. The conspiracy theory mainly stems from these points. First off, like the footage that they brought back is kind of weird. The footage isn't like, oh, it's space. You get what I'm saying? There's some things that are kind of unexplainable, some things that are kind of weird. Secondly, they taped over the footage So, like, today, we don't have the footage from when we landed on the moon. That's kind of weird to me. And then the third one that people kind of pick up on is that NASA says that today we don't have the technology to land on the moon. So that's kind of like the moon landing conspiracy in a nutshell. You can go into that rabbit hole if you want to. But yeah, just kind of, what are your thoughts on it? Like, just kind of, give me like a percentage of like yes to no. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. So, yes, that this conspiracy theory is true.
So we didn't land on the moon.
No, well, I'm just going to give a percent. I think
okay.
That's true is probably around point 2%.
Okay.
0.3. Okay. 0.5. I'll just go 0.5.
Okay.
0.5%. Just because I feel like to have a cover up of that large scale would be impossible to do. With the amount of people that worked on the project, was monitoring the it's about to call it a plane. What am I talking about? The spaceship, yeah. That's going to the moon, you know, like it's not like one guy, it's just not one guy who's like, oh yeah, so it landed on the moon. And everyone's like, we did it. Like, they would know, you know. It's just too much.
Okay.
And it's just something, like, it's just not worth faking that.
I feel like it is, actually.
I don't know. Because the consequences, if you get, like, exposed for that, you're just a joke.
Okay, so I'm at kind of like 80% no. So
20% yes?
Yeah.
1 out of 5?
So here's my thinking on it, okay? So this, out of the list that I have, besides one other one, this is like the most one that I kind of believe. So
okay.
I think that I'm not doubting that we didn't land on the moon back in 1969 because I feel like Russia would have called us out on it if they thought it was fake.
Okay.
But my whole thing is like, all right, from 1969 to now, technology has advanced so much. You know, like look what we're doing now. We're in a call. You know, I'm recording. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can get any information that we want really quickly. So I feel like technology is at basically its peak.
Okay.
And in the past 50 years, technology in terms of getting places in space has regressed. Because NASA people said that we can't even get to the moon right now. So that really just doesn't make sense to me unless we didn't land on the moon. So I'm not saying like, oh, that's because it's fake. I'm just saying like, it's one of those ones where like my real answer is I don't really know, but I'm leaning towards no, this is fake. Like the conspiracy theory is fake, not the fucking landing's fake. But that kind of like has me raise an eyebrow. You know, it's just kind of like, all right, we could do it in 1969, and then we like threw out all the evidence and threw out all like the technology we used, and now we don't know how to get there. That seems kind of fucking fishy, dude. And then the fact that no other country has gotten there yet, I don't know. Like the U.S. really wasn't that. You know, it's not. They weren't 50 years ahead of everyone else.
All right. For the reasons for other countries, is there really any reason for them to go to the moon?
I mean, they're trying to.
Are they?
China is and India is.
I don't know.
Well, they are scheduled for 2021, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, just for those that are into conspiracy theories, Kieran won't believe in any of this. We already fucking know this.
I don't know if this is something that's reasonable. I mean,
you said 0.5, bro.
Yeah, 0.5, because I don't think that happened. I mean, moon landing fake? I don't know, dude.
So why don't you think we can land on the moon right now? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know.
That's just unexplainable to me. Like, how could we do it in 69, but we can't do it now?
I don't know. Maybe the technology. Maybe they could if they really tried to, but it's just they have access to better technology that they're developing now. That there's really no point to use the previous technology. I'm not sure.
No. One guy, I watched a NASA interview on it, and one guy said if I could go to the moon right now, I would, but we can't. We don't have the technology.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's a budget thing.
No, NASA gets a shit ton of money.
Yeah, but enough to... I don't know. We were pouring a lot of resources into going to the moon the first time. I don't know.
No, all right, no. So I completely agree with you there, but I'm just saying, so we pour all that money into the technology, right? Mm-hmm. Where the fuck did it go?
I don't know.
You know, like, all right, so we land on.
I don't really have an explanation for that.
That's why I'm at 20.
But
that's where my 20% comes from.
I just don't see it happening.
No, I respect your opinion and everything, but that's where the 20 comes from. Like, when there's something inside a conspiracy theory that's unexplainable, I'm gonna be like, okay, this kind of has some weight to it. It's not like, oh, the government's dropping chemtrails to make us dumber. It's like, all right, buddy, get outside more. All right. Okay. So that's kind of the moon landing one. You guys can leave your thoughts on this in the comments. Next one.
Yep.
Kieran said, we got the pyramids. So I used this one kind of like, this was like the biggest conspiracy theory, like in like history. Like way back, pyramids were made, like 3,400 years ago. So what is their percentages? Yes to no. And basically the theory goes that the Egyptians got help from something not human to build the pyramids. What are your percentages out here?
0.01.
Okay.
I don't believe it. Okay. Because really the only thing not human that would help us would be aliens, I guess.
Presumably.
And just initially, I believe aliens are out there somewhere, because, it's basically an infinite universe. Yeah. Of course, they're probably out there somewhere. But I don't believe we've had contact with them.
Okay.
I don't know. And I don't believe that they've landed and helped build a pyramid, a block of, brick or whatever. Yeah, basically. And then left. I think it's basically the only possible way is that it was just extreme manual labor by the slaves of Egypt that they had them constantly working with a huge workforce.
All right, so I'm at 90% that the aliens did it. So basically,
what you had 90%.
This is the one that
aliens did it.
This is the only one on here that I actually believe.
Wow.
So
I have no words.
Here's my thought process for those out here. Basically, you look at the pyramids, right? And first off, it's perfect. Like, it all lines up. There's no maintenance issues. And if you go around Egypt where those pyramids are located, there's other pyramids that have just kind of fallen apart. They weren't as mathematically structured. They were just kind of thrown together. Which you look at those pyramids, like, oh yeah, definitely. People could do that. But when I look at this one, and I'm like, all right, so these blocks weighed from 2 tons to 30 tons. The most you could fit around a block is 15 to 20 people max. And I've watched videos on this. I've done a decent amount of research on it, and basically, for it to get done in 20 years, which is what the Egyptians say they did it in 20 years, they would have to place 270 blocks, every day, and that's not accounting for sleep. So I just feel like it's kind of fishy. I'm not doubting the Egyptians were strong, but dude, 2 fucking tons. If it's 15 people around that block for 2 tons, every person's lifting 450 pounds. So we're talking just lifting the block, and now we're not even talking about stacking it in that type of order. Also, there's no sign of a ramp. Everyone says they used a ramp. There's no sign of a ramp.
What would be the sign of a ramp? What, is the ramp going to survive?
No, there's it's imprints and shit. On the other pyramids, you can clearly see that there was a ramp. All the other pyramids besides those 2 had ramps.
Imprints on what?
No, the archaeologists that study it say, okay, yeah, this they say, I don't know, the reason.
All right, I'm saying the 20 years thing. The article I'm reading says constructed between 2589 and 2504, so 85 years. I don't know which is correct.
The Egyptians said 20.
Okay.
Joe Weller went to Egypt, and he asked the guy, how long did this take? And he said 20 years.
Do we trust the guy?
I don't trust the
guy. I would trust researchers.
No, that guy's a security dude, though. I don't know. All right, well, that's it.
I don't know. It could be just being a little bit misinformed. You could be trying to exaggerate for the camera. I don't know.
And also, I feel like it's a little bit unrealistic that a bunch of these slaves just worked nonstop.
I don't know, because when you think about it, there were definite. They're slaves. They don't really have a choice. Second of all, this is for the people of Egypt basically worship the kings, and these are for their gods and stuff. So I think they would be motivated.
No, but if they're slaves, then how are they lifting 450 pounds over and over?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like.
I'm just saying, there's probably a lot of them using a ramp system. But I'm saying
years. Like the blocks, like the like the width and the length of the block, you can only get a certain amount of people around the block. It's not that you can get 80 people around one singular block. That's just math. Like if there's a block, like let's say 10 inches wide, you get what I'm saying. Though there's only like a certain amount of people you can fit around a block. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I guess, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
And then the real kicker for me was that these two pyramids line up exactly with the North Star. And we're talking like pinpoint. It's not like, oh, it's a rough. We're talking fucking pinpoint.
Okay, my reaction to that is from like what angle? Is there like a specific?
I mean, you can like go on like Google Maps and you can go on like Google Earth and it's like exactly.
I don't know. Maybe that was on purpose.
But they didn't have a compass.
Well, I mean, they line up with the star. They see like a big star.
So now Egyptians know what space is?
I don't know. Like they see the light and they're like, we'll line it up. Maybe that's like a god or something. I don't know.
But they did it.
Could just be a coincidence. I mean, why would aliens fly in and line up a pyramid with the North Star just to mess with us? You think they left us a hint? That's the hint.
Well, no, I'm just saying like that's unexplainable.
It is explainable.
How do you line it up without a compass, man?
I mean, you see the light, and they just line it up.
Oh, yeah, perfectly. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. So...
I think it's most likely just a coincidence that people are reading too much into.
But they did it twice. Both of the fucking pyramids.
I don't know.
Dude, come on.
What do you mean? So both pyramids... I have a question. I mean, that depends on the angle you look at it.
No.
It does.
What do you mean by what type of angle?
Which side you look at it.
What's from like a bird's eye view? Because that's where the North Star is, mate.
So they're right under the North Star, is what you're saying?
Well, obviously, because the North Star is like in space. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so dude. They just built it there. That's just a coincidence.
Dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
Bro, we couldn't do that if we tried.
They lived in the country.
Dude, we couldn't.
Where the North Star was over.
But they didn't.
It's not like they went to like Greenland and built it.
Dude.
Because the North Star.
My guy, we couldn't do that today. Perfectly.
We could if we were in Egypt.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, alright, we're going nowhere here, but.
Alright, yeah.
I mean.
0.01.
No, and then, dude, there was a fossil that was found in the pyramids, and every, person that's looked at the fossil that, does this for a living, it was like a tomb there. It was a mummy, basically, and everyone that's looked at it says, yeah, that's not human. And, in 1998, these kids found Hypatia stone, which is in the galaxy. People tested it. It didn't register from Earth. So I don't know how the fuck that got there. There's just a bunch of shit, dude. There's a bunch of shit. So I'm pretty confident. And now, there's reports about Egyptians having planes.
Okay, that's just now.
Planes?
Alright, I looked up what you're talking about. The tiny mummy's alien appearance is explained. It's a conical-shaped head, unusually hard bones for her size. Some claim she's an alien, but a new study... There's a scientific explanation for her extraterrestrial appearance. I'm just reading it. I'm not sure.
That's alright, bro. Don't worry about it. Alright, so we're just gonna do one more, because we're just kind of dragging in this one. So
sample her bone marrow.
We're gonna go.
Her genetic material is from a human being. Debunked.
Yeah, what about the North Star, mate?
Yeah, they just built it there. Coincidence. Or they saw the star and they're like, oh, that's cool. We'll build it under there. It must be a sign from the gods.
And they line it up. Exactly.
They look up and they're like, that's a star. And then they build it underneath. That seems reasonable.
That's the most unreasonable thing I've heard.
Alright, man. Just read the next one.
Dude, wait, so I couldn't do that?
What do you mean it's a star, bro? They look up and they're like, that's a star.
And they build
I think it's a coincidence.
They build a 500-foot tall pyramid?
Well, yeah, you just gotta look at the star.
Exactly.
And then build it around the star.
Oh my god. Alright.
I don't know, it's a pretty big star. It's not like it's... dude.
I don't know.
That's a pretty big star.
I don't know.
So do you
0.5.
think? Oh wait. So do you think the Egyptians were smarter than us?
No. We could do that.
We could not do that with the same things that the Egyptians had. No fucking chance. No way. There is not one group of people.
Okay. Pyramids lined up with the stars. Ancient Egyptian astronomers aligned the pyramids due north by using 2 stars that circle the celestial polar point. Okay. I'm not really sure what that means, but...
Exactly.
But I mean, it sounds like a...
The Egyptians, though? Nah.
The Egyptian astronomers aligned the pyramids due north by using 2 stars that circle the celestial polar point. Yeah, I mean, that sounds reasonable.
Dude. Alright, we just think differently, dude. But, I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, there's no group of people that you could get together to rebuild that exactly under something. No. But we're just going to move on. We're going to go to the last one. We're going to kind of go... Alright, we're going to go the Illuminati. So, basically, Illuminati, there's a group of people that get together and they kind of control what happens in the world. That's kind of like it in a nutshell. We can get into who's in it. I don't know. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think on the Illuminati?
0.001.
Why?
It just makes no sense to me. First of all, I have a couple questions. What's the point? What are they changing?
No, well, the point is to have, like, you know how all government, every, like, world leader in history has wanted, like, one world government? You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, what?
Like, how all, like, the world leaders in different countries, like, everyone wanted just one government in the entire world. But it's, like, literally impossible. So, the thought behind the Illuminati is it's, like, a secret group with a bunch of powerful people, and they have the power to do that.
How? Like, what do they pass a law or something? Like,
well, no, I mean, you have different, like, influential people, like Kanye's.
Yeah, they're influential, but not as leaders of the world.
Well, Obama is in it according to this theory. I think it's all. I don't believe it either. But like, this is
okay. Also, just the logistics of it. Like, you think about a lot of these people are tracked all day. They go somewhere. You think people would hear if everyone's in the same city?
They could cover that one up.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Plus, they meet up, and what are they like? So, what are we saying today? Like, we're gonna do what? Well, what's something the Illuminati's like?
I mean, I could like look up like different. I mean, it's just kind of like I don't think we can go into specifics because I don't really know enough about it. But it's just kind of like the thought that comes to mind was, you know how basically in the Illuminati, like, there's a bunch of initiations, right? Yeah. And remember the thing about Kanye at the Grammys, I think, when he stole the mic from Taylor Swift, and he was like, Beyonce was better, basically.
Okay.
And then later, Taylor Swift came out in like a red dress, and that's like the thing for the Illuminati, like their color's red. So theorists, I don't believe that shit, but theorists think that was Taylor Swift's initiation into the Illuminati, like public humiliation, and then she came out in the red dress to signify that she was there.
That's just the dumbest thing.
No, I think it's like that's the thing, or like
okay.
A lot of people use like the Illuminati sign, like the triangle. It's on like the dollar bill. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's just people reading way too into things.
What, the Illuminati is the same symbol as the one on the dollar bill? I don't think that's reading way too into things.
No, but there's like pictures of celebrities like it's like a triangle. So they're in the Illuminati. I don't know. What percent would you give? Just out of curiosity.
No, 1. The lowest I go is 1.
Lowest you go is 1. All right.
Because for me, first off, I don't know enough about it. I think I have a decent knowledge on like the pyramid conspiracy, right? But with the Illuminati, I'm just kind of sitting here like, all right, you know, in one room we got Trump, Kim Jong-un, Putin, and then Kanye. This kind of seems a little bit fishy. But it's just...
Well, yeah, I mean, I just think it's just so obviously not true.
I wouldn't call it obviously not true. I just don't have like an example in mind. That, you know, like something there that's like questionable. So for me, like on the 2 that we've done, like the moon landing is the fact that we don't have the technology, and the pyramids for me is the fact that they line up with the North Star. I know you think that's a coincidence. That's cool with me. But for the Illuminati, there's not like a scenario for me that's unexplainable unless it fit that conspiracy theory. That's what I look at in conspiracy theories. I need something that's unexplainable that fits the theory. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
So for the Illuminati, like, there's not one that I found where it's unexplainable unless it's because of X theory. So yeah, I mean, we kind of don't believe this one. Kieran has never believed in a conspiracy theory ever.
That's not true.
What's one that you believe in?
I don't know. We'll see these next two.
Okay. I mean, all right, we'll just kind of give... You're not going to believe these next two.
But... All right, let's hear it.
All right, so we'll do just two more pretty quickly. So we got the 9/11 conspiracy theory. Now, we're not disrespecting 9/11. Obviously, it's a horrific attack, and I feel really bad for all the families affected of it. But besides that point, we're not taking shots or anything. Don't do this. We're old enough for this.
There's no one in the comments.
Basically, the 9/11 theory is that the U.S. was basically behind it, and they used it as a way to get into Iraq. Now, obviously, it sounds awful. A, B, just like, what the fuck? Like, just a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
The main one for me, so I'm at 2%. A little bit higher. We found 2%. From 1 to 2. And for me, it's just the way the buildings fall. It just seems kind of weird. Like, it's like the Twin Towers were like... they were like basically in free fall. And I know like a plane going into a building can cause it, but fucking free fall, bro, that never happens. No one's ever seen that before. Like, even when hotels are on fire, like, it never just goes into complete free fall. So that's kind of where I'm like, alright, that's kind of weird. So do you have anything to say on that type of stuff? Like how they fell?
Yeah, I just don't know if you're the government, if you're the U.S. government, I don't know why you would sabotage your own nation, especially in such a place where there's so much damage and loss that you need an excuse to go into Iraq. I don't know, because it's like a devastating attack on yourself. I don't see how anyone would do that, especially with the buildings falling. That you're saying it's possibly like bombs at the bottom or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'd say if you were to fake it, you would do it actually with a plane, because then there's less of a chance that you would get discovered because if it gets exposed that you were, I mean, I don't believe this at all, but if it gets exposed, then you're just done.
Yeah,
I don't know how you can't justify that at all.
And then the other one is the building was called the 7 building. It was basically a building a little bit away from the Twin Towers, and then that one fell too. That one was weird. That one's fucking weird. And then there was a broadcast where this lady was like, "Oh yeah, this building fell," and then 10 seconds later it fell. There's just kind of weird things. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just kind of giving the facts of the theory. So for me, this one's at 2%. There's a lot more evidence for this one than the Illuminati, so I'm part of me wants to put it up to 10 or something, but I just kind of have faith in the country here. Are we really that bad? Fucking serious. And then the other thing that I've heard is everyone that was on site, during it, they just said they heard bombs. But I don't know. I mean...
Okay, so I'm going to put it at 0.05 as my percent.
Christ.
I don't think it's true.
I don't think it's true either. I have faith in the country. Alright, the last one.
Yeah, nah.
The last one. There's not really a concrete theory here. Right? But I kind of feel like this kind of goes under the radar. What do you think? Do you think there's anything happening in Antarctica besides there's just no one there?
Okay.
Because Antarctica is no one really knows.
I think there are things there, but mostly just research centers,
So nothing nothing government related.
I mean, government related in the sense that the government sponsors these research centers. I don't think the government is. I'm saying hiding anything.
A government basically Area 51 in Antarctica, something like that.
That'd be cool. This is definitely the most believable one, easily.
Okay.
But I would say, yeah, that's easily the most believable one. I would say that the percentage is probably
1.
I'd say 2.
Wow. I'm at 20 for this one.
Okay.
So
I'm going with 2.
So for me, for the whole Antarctica thing, right? Where I kind of
Okay.
So as I've said during this conversation, I need something that's only explainable if it fits the theory. So there was like this thing where every like leader for every government in the world agreed to not go to Antarctica, like not to fly over it, just basically act like it's not even there. So you could say that's just because it's really cool. I think that there's something there. I have no idea what it is. But, you know, if we're in contact with aliens, that's a great place to put them because no one even knows. No one has any fucking clue. I'm just saying, I think there's something there. I think if you're a government, especially if aliens, like if it's that big of a deal, stuff like that, it's a great place to hide it.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason. I might actually go up to like 4%.
Wow.
This is...
Here we go.
Far and away the most believable one. The other ones I don't believe in the slightest.
Okay.
But this one actually makes a little bit of sense because this is something that is like plausible. I mean, the U.S. Area 51. That's like a
not even like the
secret
U.S.
military.
Just like the world.
Yeah. I mean,
like if there's something where
Antarctica is really a great place to hide something.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure,
like
the conditions aren't great, but I mean, it's definitely.
You can figure that. You can figure.
Yeah, it's hidden.
Out. I mean, it's hidden. So, no one's gonna ever know about it. There's gonna be no public coverage unless, you know, like a guy that worked there tells you know, like something like that. Where I mean, who really knows?
And it's not the case where it's like some huge scandal if something gets found out. It'd be like, okay, so we have a secret base in Antarctica.
It depends on what the guy says.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt it's like. I don't think it's like aliens or something.
No, I'm just saying if the guy said aliens, that's a fucking massive deal.
If the guy says aliens, I just don't believe him. I don't think he's credible. Unless like this is like actually some guy.
I think those guys are credible.
I don't know, but yeah, I'd say 4%.
Wow, we got.
I don't hate that one.
I got him up to 4. Lovely.
Yeah, that's 4%.
I mean, so I love talking about conspiracy theories. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't believe in all of them. Not even, like, in the slightest, really, besides the pyramids one. Big believer in that one. But for me, it just kind of opens up, like, a really interesting conversation. Just kind of, like, so far away from mainstream. That's kind of why I like it. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We could talk about this. I could talk about this for hours. We could just have a podcast. I know you don't. I know you hate these things, but, I mean, there's so many other ones.
Yeah, we can talk about some more.
I mean, you're just going to shoot them down, which is cool. I mean, that's just your opinion. And
that's just what I think.
But maybe we'll sway him one day, boys.
Yeah, who knows?
We won't. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. We're going to stick to fantasy football until basically the NFL starts. And then,
stay tuned for if you want to win your fantasy league, you know?
I mean, speaking from the guy that lost by 57 points to me. I don't know if that's that credible.
That was last year. You know, I've taken some time off the game, you know, mainly because the season ended, but, you know, taking some time for myself, you know,
and then you're
got my head right.
Leonard Fournette at 20.
And, you know, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm ready to have a comeback season.
Best shape.
You know how, like, everyone says that in preseason? Like, I'm in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
That's me, you know? I'm in the best fantasy shape of my life.
See, for me, I'm kind of like a known commodity. Like, I don't gotta say any of that stuff.
Oh, my God.
It's kind of like I get into your league, and you're just kind of like, fuck.
Is that right?
It's kind of like when LeBron goes to your conference. You're just kind of like,
I'm looking good in training camp, you know?
Oh, dude, I'm not even at training camp, bro.
You didn't show up? You're holding out for a contract?
No, bro.
No?
I just don't need it. I don't need those reps.
Dude, well, I mean, they're going to put you on the do not report list. That can't be good.
I'm the GM, bro.
You're the GM? What?
It's fantasy football, man.
That can't be legal.
Yeah, but
anyways, you want to take my advice.
I absolutely smacked Kieran up in the playoffs last year.
That was
dreadful.
We don't need to talk about
142 to 85. in the playoffs.
How do you just know the score? How do you just know the score?
I looked at it today. My brother was like, "Oh yeah, I beat you by 70," and I'm like, I looked at it. I looked back at it. Like, he beat me by 13. Like, it's like, okay, buddy. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but I've improved. Watch out.
We don't really know though.
Yeah, but alright. You know that's fine.
You were gonna pick Fournette at 21, and you're coming at me with these accusations.
That's a great pick.
Ah, he's an improved, lads. Oh jeez.
Wow.
Oh jeez.
This is hurtful.
Oh jeez.
I think we just gotta end it.
One last quick note. I asked Kieran to go on my money league, and he went running. That's
not what happened.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's not what happened.
I'm like, yo,
I don't like to steal.
I'm like, yo, we got an open spot here.
I don't like to steal.
I can get you in this league, and you're like, nah, bro, that's too much money.
I'm not a thief.
So hey, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you're just not willing to bet on yourself. That's cool.
I'm no thief.
You're not a thief.
Yeah.
You're not a thief. I wasn't hearing this talk. I wasn't hearing this talk when I gave you the invitation.
It's okay. It's okay. We all, shut up. It's fine.
It's fine. we'll leave it on that. All right, see you.
Yeah, farewell.